Sup guys, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Richie and today I'm going to be talking about this. This is a battery grip that I bought from my A7 III and you can probably tell by the title part of the reason why I bought this battery grip, but obviously there is a bit more of an explanation as to what this does to my camera. Part of the charm of interchangeable lens cameras is their modularity, the ability to add things to benefit you as a creative person filming or taking photos. So you can kind of tailor the camera to your needs, add enhancements in order to benefit your workflow. While adding functionality, these parts kind of drastically change the look of the camera. So here's a clip of me discussing these camera mods and additions and how they either benefit and also change the look of your camera. Okay, this is kind of a little theory on how to make your camera look different. And the more accessories you add to your camera, obviously, the more conspicuous you're going to be when you're out in the field. So this is my A7 III. I'm using my ADD to record this because I don't have a battery grip for it. So as you can see, this is pretty much the standard format. I've got my 16-35 on there, which is my standard lens. And, you know, it looks probably like a semi-professional camera. Not as small as a point and shoot, especially with the lens, but it's not as big as a DSLR, which is good and bad in some ways because the grip, it's small as a whole, it's light, but the grip is compromised, and I don't know if it's the best way to show you there, but my pinky kind of slips off and my hands aren't huge. So if you've got bigger hands than me, which you probably do, you're going to have a bit of a hard time gripping the camera. Not to say that the grip is bad or anything, but it's a bit challenging when you're coming from a DSLR. If you maybe put a prime lens on here, like a Zeiss 55 or even like a pancake lens, you could probably make this look like a regular digital camera point and shoot and be a bit less conspicuous with it, especially if you're trying to get into a concert or an event with this kind of camera. The first thing that changes the look of the camera in kind of more of a drastic way than you would think is actually a lens hood. So a lens hood pretty much comes with all kind of full frame lenses, and you screw it on and there you go. It kind of looks a little bit more conspicuous. Still the same body, but the lens looks bigger now. The lens hood does a couple of things. It blocks light from hitting your lens at different angles, so it avoids unwanted lens flares, and it also offers protection, so if you were to hit something, it doesn't hit the glass, or it helps you avoid touching the glass, or if you put the camera down, or if you smack it down, it hits the hood before it hits the glass, which is nice. Again, you'll look a bit more conspicuous, so if you did want to avoid the looks, then you're going to have to take it off. But we'll put it on for now. The next thing you can do is add something to your hot shoe or cold shoe. The photographer edition would be like an on-camera light or a speed light, a flash, and video, I suppose this is interchangeable between photo and video, but for video you would have a shotgun mic. So for my purposes, this is my old Video Mic Go. And there you go. And this is the conversation piece for a lot of people who are going to come up to you if you're filming in public. When I was in Australia and I was walking around in the mall with this mounted to my camera, I got a lot of questions about the microphone, not the camera itself. Obviously, having the lens hood and the shotgun mic is going to add an extra kind of look to your camera. And again, you're going to be a lot more conspicuous. The final thing is the battery grip. Now, this is what turns the camera into something professional looking. If you're doing a lot of client work and you show up with a mirrorless camera, people aren't going to take you as seriously, which is, it's unfortunate, but it's kind of reality, and a lot of your work kind of plays into the looks. If you've got a smaller camera, then that means you're not taking nice pictures, even though you can take fine pictures with an A6000, for example. Battery grip adds to the grip of the camera, so now my pinky doesn't slip off, and then if you're a photographer, you have that portrait grip. Or if you are a filmmaker or you like to shoot smooth B-roll, you've got a grip point here, so your fingers can go under the lens and hold the camera steady when you're getting that B-roll. Also, you get extra power, obviously, but again, you have that look. Like I said, your client is going to take you more seriously if you've got a bigger camera that you're shooting with. It's the unfortunate reality, but it's a reality nonetheless. It doesn't have to be the Sony one, because no one's going to be looking at the back of the camera, or you can just put a piece of tape over any third-party brand you get. But yeah, this is now a kind of professional looking rig, and then if you wanted to take it a step further, you can put a cage over it and a top handle and an external monitor and turn it into a cinema rig. But for run and gun filmmaking, this is probably as good as it gets for stability and practicality. It's not too heavy, it's easy to manipulate and hold. There it is. There's kind of the theory behind how a camera looks and the additions that they have. So the body of the A7 III is a lot smaller than your average DSLR camera, as you saw previously. That is a good thing if you wanted to have a lighter kit, but it compromises the grip, so my pinky finger sometimes slips off and the weight isn't evenly distributed along the smaller body. So by adding this battery grip, you add more touch points, it's easier to hold, and I'm obviously recording with the camera now, so I can't show you now, but I might include some clips of B-roll or something. But now you can just get a simple grip extension, which literally just adds a little bit of length to the bottom of the camera. There's the Sony official one, there's also like the Mikey or the small rig cage. There's a lot of variants of the grip extension, but I chose to go all out for the battery grip because this offers the most functionality and obviously the most grip. This one in particular is the official Sony grip, and before anyone freaks out, I got this secondhand at a really reduced price, and it's still in immaculate condition. Came like pretty much brand new. It even came with the box. I mean, the only reason you'd want to buy a Sony grip is if you want to kind of keep with the theme, if you're very brand oriented, and if the little things like grip and fit matter to you, and attention to detail, since obviously Sony makes the camera, they make the grip, they make all the textures and everything match up to the body of the camera, then you know what? Spend the extra money and get the Sony grip. Otherwise, the Mikey grip, or there's a few alternatives. I think the Mikey might be the best one. I probably would have gotten that one, but I didn't want to wait ages for it to ship and arrive, so I thought I'd just pick this one up secondhand for a little bit more. And yeah, it does what it works as advertised. It's pretty much a grip that you attach to the bottom of the camera. This is where the battery door is stored, and then there's a little compartment here that you can fit in 2Z batteries. I mean, the battery life of the A7 III is pretty much really good as it is, but you know, if you're out shooting longer days, then this might come in handy. You can charge both batteries using the USB-C port on the camera, although that will take a decent amount of time. And then you also have portrait control, so if you are a photographer, you can flip the camera on its side and you have a shutter, AF on, you have joystick, controls to change your shutter speed and aperture, and overall it's a pretty nifty device. Now, adding this on doesn't actually increase the weight, but it rather distributes the weight more evenly, especially if you've got a larger lens. Like even with a 16-35 with just the original body, it feels quite weighty. And then when you add this, it's just a lot easier to hold the camera and manipulate it and get steadier shots just because you've got that extra grip. Now, the main complaint that I have about this is firstly the price. Brand new, it's absolutely ridiculous, almost $1,000 in New Zealand. I got this one for about 300, which, you know. This battery kind of tray compartment, it's made out of flimsy plastic. It's not the most well built. If you're not very careful with your gear or you're a bit rough, this might not last as long if you're not intending to look after it. But apart from that, yeah, battery grip. Adds grip, adds the looks, makes it look more professional, and, you know, there's not really much more to say. It's just a battery grip. So yeah, buying a new camera is like an ongoing cost. I've got a few other accessories that I want to make some videos on, but I'll save that for another day. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you sticking around all the way to the end. If you haven't seen my previous video, which is me unboxing the A7 III, go ahead and watch that. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.